Bebongo and Friends saves the savannah. Support us and subscribe to our channel. A few months passed since Bebongo returned to Australia. He lived happily, beautifully, and most importantly, freely. He was surrounded by his dearest and most beloved ones, and every day he would fly, walk, and have fun with the other little parrots from the savannah. Almost every day, after breakfast, Bebongo would meet up with his parrot friends, and they would go from the savannah to a little lake named Hop Hop. There was endless fun by the lake. All sorts of other animals from the savannah came to enjoy themselves, cool off, and spend the hot summer days by the lake, with its clear and cold water. There were little kangaroos, porcupines, various birds, insects, and the best fun was in the mud with the wild boars. Sometimes, other birds from distant parts of the savannah would come to the lake, including Yana. She was a very beautiful parrot, Bebongo's peer. The day Bebongo first laid eyes on the beautiful Yana was the day he discovered what love is, and now he got lost in her beauty like under a spell. They got to know each other right away and became fast friends. It was a new love in the savannah and a new magical tale. Soon, Bebongo and Yana were so in love that they decided to live together and built their nest by the Hop Hop Lake, waiting for their own family. However, Bebongo was troubled by something deep inside. An unease gnawed at him, and he spent his days lost in thought and worry. His mind kept going back to the poachers who had kidnapped him as a youngster and taken him far from home. Bebongo knew that the poachers came every year around the same time, capturing animals from the savannah and taking them away from their homes. His concern grew even more because he knew that the same danger would threaten his chicks, too. So, he pondered what he could do to ensure that no animal from the savannah would ever face the poachers again. After a few days, Bebongo called a meeting of all the savannah animals by the Hop Hop Lake to tell them how to deal with the poachers. The day came, and all the animals gathered by the little lake. Bebongo stood on a branch of a big tree and began to explain his plan to the animals. The plan was to catch the poachers, imprison them, and hand them over to the savannah guards for capture. To make this plan work, a large pit needed to be dug in the middle of the savannah, so deep that only a kangaroo could jump out of it. All the animals agreed to help as much as they could. The moles, ants, and wild boars were responsible for digging. The rabbits gnawed at tree roots and grass, while the kangaroos carried the soil in their pouches, taking it far from the pit to the edge of the savannah. After 3 whole days of hard and exhausting work, the pit was ready, big and deep enough to prevent anyone from escaping. Next, the pit needed to be covered with rotten branches, soil, leaves, and grass so that when a person stepped on them, they would immediately fall into the pit. The birds and other animals immediately got to work, bringing branches and leaves. After several hours of work, the trap was set and ready to catch the wicked poachers. After a few days, while it was still dark and the sun had not risen, the poachers arrived in several noisy vehicles. The noise of their vehicles woke up all the animals in the savannah and they all rushed to carry out Bebongo's plan and capture the poachers. Hopster the kangaroo was in charge of the whole mission. Hopster was supposed to act as an injured young kangaroo and lure the poachers to the pit. Hopster in front of the poachers began to hop on only one leg and they began to chase him. They chased him all the way to the trap, but as soon as the sly Hopster approached the pit, instead of one, he now jumped strongly with both legs and jumped over the trap, so all but one of the running poachers fell into the hole. Every attempt to get out of the pit was in vain, it was too deep. What's more, they shouted and cried and made such a noise that the guardians of the savannah immediately heard it. The guards captured the poachers and took them to prison where they would remain locked up for a long, long time. And so, Bebongo and the friends from the savannah were saved from the poachers and lived safely and happily ever after.